going to start by showing you DJI Go 4 app. Right, now I've got lots of things in the app. How do I get out of this one? I've got lots of things. So I've got all my different flights I've done recently, and you can click on them and it'll show you the flights, where you've been, you know, and it's like every single one is here showing me all the places I've flown. Okay, so you just click on various ones. Yeah, the one I'm interested in is on the 13th, which is this one. Yeah, it's just loading up the map. Come on, baby, where are you? Where are you? Are you going to load up the map? Oh, there we are. Right, it had loaded up. Right, so anyway, this is my flight path. Now bear in mind, I cannot edit this. This is not editable, right? Okay, anyone who has the DJI Go 4 app will tell you that this information in here is stored. That's it. It's stored. You can't get rid of it. It's even stored if you delete it. The police can go into your drone and get this information out, but you cannot edit it. Okay, you can't go into the drone. You can't even access this information inside the drone. It's stored in a way that you can't access it. Okay, so there's no question whatsoever here, right? I mean, you could speak to anybody who owns a drone, any experts, they would tell you this information is sacrosanct. It cannot be manipulated. Okay, so here is my drone, a little red thing. Bear in mind it's a triangle, and the tip of the triangle is the way I'm facing. Okay, so that's important. Okay, so that's where I start. You can see that this little bar in the lower left. I'm just about to press the play button, which is the lower left, which will be over that way. Yeah, anyway, I'm just about to press the play button, which is down in the middle. So press play and you'll see, well, it zooms me out, but let's zoom in. Now bear in mind these people's houses are up there in the upper right. Okay, that's their house, and the manor house is here. So let's see, I take off. I fly sideways, still looking at the manor house, so my camera's still pointing forward, so I'm flying sideways now, and I'm keeping the camera pointed towards the house as I go. Okay, so, and I'm going to show you the actual footage to show how it tallies up with the timing. I don't know, I've never done it before. It should tally up exactly with the timing if I get back on the computer, and my flight should correspond to the exact timing. Okay, but here we are. Let's move the screen across. Okay, so you can see the path I'm taking. I'm flying around the manor house. Hang on, I'll be down there now. Doggy just moaning. So I'm keeping the manor house is the thing that's in shot the whole time. Okay, so you know, now even though I'm getting closer to that house that's up there, and you see the house, even though I'm getting closer to it, I'm not pointing at the house, I'm pointing at the manor, right? So the closest point I get to the garden, and it can be to their garden, would be behind these trees. Okay, so I'm not in their garden. Remember, they said I was in their garden, and then I flew around over their neighbor's house as well, right? Which is bullshit. Look, now I'm flying over the top of the house. I'm looking down on top of the house now, I believe. You can see up here on the right hand side, it's sort of up here. There's the thing which tells you the angle of the camera. It's at 53 degrees at the moment, which means it's pointing down. So it's pointing down even more now. Apparently it's going up to 60, 70 degrees. So that's telling you the angle of the camera. So when the camera is at 0, it's pointing straight out. When it's at 90, it's pointing directly down. So anyway, there's the drone. So I'm now at the far end of the house, and I'm quite low. I'm at 20 meters. The height is up here. You can see 20 meters, 19 meters. Right, so I'm going down, I believe, and then I come up the side of the house up 19 meters, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. So I come down, and then I point the camera straight out, and then I lift up, and then I pull around, still looking at the house. So I'm at 6 meters. There we are, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm pulling up in front of the house now, and then I'm flying sideways again, keeping the house in shot, so pointing the camera at the house. As I'm flying sideways now, we'll come close, but again, not over or in the gardens of this house, which is what's been claimed. It's been claimed that I flew into the garden and over their house and into the garden and over their neighbor's house, right? So, right, ready? So I'm pointing the front of the camera at the manor house now. The closest I come, there's the house, the closest I come is across the laneway, which is still not over their house or their garden. So I'm not in their garden, right? Not in their garden, not over their house. Okay. Now this building here is part of the manor house. It's like a greenhouse. Yeah, it's a greenhouse. So I'm still over, quite clearly over the manor property. Okay. Now about this time now they're walking across from the house and screaming and shouting, coming towards me. So I'm starting to think, oh shit, I better get the drone down. So I'm continuing to kind of fly, but then I decide, no, I better get the drone down. So I start to fly the drone back towards me, and you can see the height, which is up there, will decrease in a minute. 30, 20. Now I'm getting it, you see, very quick coming down, very quick, because I want to get that drone out of the sky because they're walking towards me at this point. And that's it. The total time for this whole incident was 3 minutes 38 seconds. I'd stopped filming towards the end, which was this little bit where I'd come around. So this bit here, so from about here, I think I stopped filming from about here, right, from about there, and I stopped filming and landed without me filming. Okay, so that last bit is missing, but everything else is there, and I will show you now. So basically, Jonathan Moritz is a lying little toe rag, right, and needs to own up to his lies, yeah, because the camera doesn't lie, yeah, the logs don't lie, but I think a little miserable person who doesn't like people wandering out the laneway, and it is a laneway, yeah, this is a laneway, yeah, which takes you not only to his house, but it takes you to the manor as well. Now bear in mind that we didn't even come from that direction, right? We came from here. We came all the way from over here, parked there, and walked through the trees in that direction. And that's not his land. We walked in from that direction. Okay? What's the matter? What's the matter? Anyway, we're going to see what my dog wants. So yeah, this is where it starts to get really funny, because Jonathan Moritz has written on my channel, which is why I've done this video, and he says that everything is a total distortion of the truth. I am the crazy neighbour. It was in my garden. I was in my garden with my family on Saturday afternoon when a drone flew into our garden. Not over it or around it, into it. We're talking intimately close here, right? Okay, let's be clear here. We did not see a drone in the distance, okay? So he's being very specific. It was not in the distance, okay? This was right next to him, in his garden, okay? And then, to make things worse, it moved into the neighbour's garden to poke around their home. And then it came back to spy on me and my family some more. There you go, folks. Yeah, it was there for long enough and low enough for my daughter to try throwing her netball at it. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Oh yes, Jonathan. You're not very good at this lying thing, are you? So basically, a trespasser with a drone spying on me, and by the way, drones don't trespass, people trespass, drones don't, but anyway, that's beside the point. So this drone was spying on him and his family in their home. That was its purpose. That's why the drone was there. It wasn't there to film the manor. It had come intimately close to them, really close, so close you could throw a netball at it. That's how close it came to them, in their garden. And then it moved into their neighbour's garden. And then it came back to the original garden. And then it flew off. Well, I think my drone logs show a pretty different story, don't they? And considering I put the drone away and you see me putting it in the bag and walking off, which is when you see the logs finish, I think I've got a pretty good record which would stand up in a court. That, in fact, I didn't go anywhere near your garden. And you're a fabricator, a liar, and a bullshit artist. And you've been caught out absolutely 100% not 100%, 1000%, and you don't like it that you've been caught out, and you don't like it that people are now going to know that it's actually you've been causing the trouble up at the manor and not the people who visit there. Yes, the truth is now out. It's you and your wife are the problem, not people like myself who are just visiting. Yes, I would 100% agree with you that there may be an issue, that it's slightly distressing perhaps late at night seeing torches go up the lane. But if you just kept yourself to yourself, and just make sure that nobody's doing anything to your property, you'll be fine. But no, you've got to get on your high horse and come out with megaphones, screaming and shouting. And then you wonder why, if you've screamed and shouted obscenities at people, I'm not saying these people have done anything to your property, but you wonder why possibly somebody might have done some damage to your property. I even doubt that's true, though, to be honest, Jonathan, because let's face it, you've made up so much so far, haven't you? You've made up so much that I don't even think you've had damage to your property. I just think you want to play the victim, and you've been caught out because nothing you've said stands up. So, thanks very much for watching. And here's the other thing as well. Here's the other thing. There's a lane which goes down the side of your house, right? And it's for your two houses and the manor house. And considering you don't own the manor house and you don't know who I am and you don't know why I'm there, what gives you the right to come screaming and shouting up the laneway at me? Yeah? What gives you the right to do that? Nothing gives you the right, yeah? And using these excuses that, why would I want to come into your garden and hover around within a few feet of you, right? So close that you can throw a netball at me, yeah? At my drone. Why would I want to do that? Yeah? Why would I be interested in doing something like that? But I think we can see a motivation, I don't know what the true motivation is, but I think we can see a motivation based on your actions that you are quite regularly trying to cause trouble with people. And I don't see any evidence so far that I would have been aggressive towards you or flown a drone around your house or done anything of this nature, right? Why would I wanted to? I had no reason to. So that's my case. I stand by it. The evidence is there. You can't tamper with the logs. We've got the visual footage. You can even see from the visual footage, I don't fly over your premises. You can see from the logs, I'm not even pointing in the direction of your premises. My focus with the camera is the manor house. Always was. And there is no time when I'm even close to your house that I come down into the garden, move from your garden to the neighbour's garden, then back to another garden, and then fly out. That doesn't exist. So thank you very much. And you can keep your bad language and your aggression, because I think now everyone's going to know the secret's out. It's you. It's you and your wife. It's not the public. It's you and your wife. End of. Oh, and I'm sorry, I haven't actually addressed some of your final points. You say perhaps you would be okay with a stranger arriving with your home, getting out his camera and setting it to film whilst you're out in your garden, which I didn't do. You're not okay with it. Well, had it happened, I might feel sorry for you, but it didn't happen. I've rarely been so angry in my entire life. I doubt that very much. I really doubt that. By the looks and your behaviour, I think you're quite used to that sort of thing. Right, I did go out to find this strange individual. Okay. Well, I thought you were a bunch of bloody weirdos, to be honest, as well. I mean, just look at the way you were acting. Who thinks it's all right to go trespassing and filming in other people's homes with his drone. Well, I'm only trespassing if I'm told I'm not supposed to be there by the owner, and you're not the owner. So, actually, I haven't been told by the owner I'm trespassing at all. And if I want to, I can go back, because I haven't been told I'm trespassing. And it's not down to you to tell me I'm trespassing. Okay, so glad we got that straight. And then film people in their homes with his drone, which I didn't do. He says, what sort of person does that? And what's he doing with a film that he doesn't put on YouTube? Well, what am I doing with the film that I didn't put on YouTube? what sort of film do you think I've got? What was I filming then? What was I actually filming? I mean, you're insinuating something there. I can guess, but I'm not going to go there. I can guess what you're trying to say, but no, let's not go there because that's bloody stupid. Yeah, I mean, unless no, I'm not even going to go there. I'd like to joke, but no, let's not go there. Okay, I certainly did yell and swear at him, although some of his parts of his account are also false. Really, I just let the footage speak for itself. A woman who picks up shit to throw at somebody. Really, does that tells me a lot about your behaviour and your mentalities. Really, okay. In contrast to what he says, it was, quote, my house and my family that he was filming. This is him trying to squirrel out of, the fact that we've caught him out in his lies, you see, because he's trying to say, oh, well, no, my big gripe is that he was over my house when I wasn't. I was over a manor house, and he knows this full well. And then when I say this, because bear in mind I'm sitting in front of a manor house, I'm not sitting in front of his house. I can't even see his house. His house is behind a set of greenhouses and behind a set of trees off in the distance. I cannot see it. So when I'm referring to the house, I'm pointing at the manor house, right? And when I'm saying this is not your house with my hand pointing at the manor house, I am saying this building here is not your house. And he keeps repeating, yes, it is. Okay, so let's be clear about this now. He's now trying to say, I think he's trying to say that isn't what he meant. He meant his house that's over the way. Okay, well, that isn't the way it comes across in the way it was filmed. It isn't the way it was come across when it was being spoken. So again, he's trying to twist things now to his favour because it doesn't look good for him, really. So, and not to labour the point on too long, you can imagine that this man telling me it was not my house did nothing to quell my anger. Well, it isn't your house. He said, you're on my grounds, was one of the things he said. You're on my grounds. Well, I never stepped on his grounds once, okay? The grounds of his house would be around his house. That would be his garden, his front of his house, his front garden, that would be his grounds, right? I came from the forest. I stepped onto the land which is adjacent to the manor house and is to the south of the manor house, right? And I never even walked in the direction of his house. So for him to claim that these are his grounds, right, which he said grounds and house, right, he's implying the manor house and the grounds around the manor house. They're not his, okay? So I don't like this implication that he's now twisting things, in a different direction. People don't get angry for no reason, he says. Even if you're reading this as an ardent subscriber to this channel, there must be a voice in your head querying whether this man's account, all hurt innocence, is true. Well, I put my case forward. I think you put your case forward. Apparently, I flew into your garden, mate, didn't I? I flew into your garden, flew down and around, you and your family apparently out in the garden, and nearly got hit by some sort of netball. And then I flew into your neighbour's garden, so close, not distant, by the way, not distant, really close. Yeah, those are your lies. So I think now, as you say, right, let's go back to what you say here. If you are reading this as an ardent subscriber to this channel, there must be a voice in your head querying whether this man's account, all hurt innocence, is true. Well, I would say I turn that straight back at you, sir, because I think now we know exactly the measure of your coat and the cut of your jib. Thank you very much. Good, as you would say it, f***ing night.